Is making millions of dollars trading Forex really this simple? Well, I should be one to talk, because over the course of the past decade, I have made millions of dollars in Forex and crypto and stocks combined. And what's more is I've actually shared all my trades, my analysis, my insights, my outlooks, my recaps, literally everything here in my free Telegram channel with over 50,000 members. And just today from the trades that I've shared in here to everyone is I have made $26,000 in closed P&L and $26,000 in open P&L. That is over $50,000 just in a single day today in the past 24 hours. Since I started this account 4.5 months ago from all the trades that I've called live, I have taken $150,000 to over $400,000 in just profits before swaps and commissions. That's more than doubling the account. It's absolutely insane. With that being said, another thing that I do here in the Telegram is I have unlisted private YouTube videos that I make just for people in here where you can watch this, and you only get these links here if you're in this free Telegram channel. I do my analysis in the morning and I share it in a lot of detail. I'll put a link in the description and in the pinned comment for you to check this out. And we're gonna go ahead and get right in here to the video so that you can learn how to do this for yourself. So I have taught my friend right here, Kirkland, how to trade this exact same strategy that I'm about to teach you. And Kirkland over the past year has made millions of dollars trading Forex. And as a matter of fact, Kirkland, can you speak a little bit to this to inspire the audience?
Nick, I haven't made millions of dollars trading Forex. You have. So it would be better if you just made the video and they learned from you.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, but I mean, you've made a lot of progress this past year, and that's exciting. Like you're profitable technically, and you may not be making a lot of money, but you're still making a little bit of money. I think it'd be really helpful for people to see how you were able to do that.
Nick, I've only made a little bit of money trading Forex. It would be more helpful if they learned from you and we just made the video how we planned before.
Yeah, I know, but you could still speak to it a little bit. They could still get a little bit of something out of it because they were in your shoes before.
Nick, it would be a lot better if they just learned from you and you just made the video like how we planned to before. Nick, it would just be a lot easier if you just made the video how we planned before.
No, that's cool. We'll do it. Okay.
Stop. Just keep the microphone. I see you moving it. Just stop.
Yeah, okay. Inspiring words from Kirkland. All right, thanks, Kirkland, for weighing in. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and get straight into the strategy that I use to trade personally, and we're going to get in how you can duplicate it for yourself. Now, this is very, very simple. There's no pyrotechnic techniques. There's no mental gymnastics. There's nothing. It is you going straight to the chart and doing exactly what I'm showing you. Now, what I do, I'm going to start teaching you by just showing you a trade that I'm literally in right now, a trade that I took this morning, and we'll also go to a trade that I took last night and another trade from today. So there's 3 total trades. We're going to cover all those. Now, what I posted here in my free Telegram channel yesterday is that, or I believe it was actually this morning, EURGBP. I posted this trade and I also put it in the analysis video this morning that my Telegram members get access to. EURGBP, she's ready. It's a clear resistance zone. Price has gotten into it, and I'm entering the trade now. The stop loss above the zone and a target below. The way that I trade is so basic. I go to the weekly and daily time frames. I look at where the current market price is. I draw the next clearest support resistance zone above and below price. So in this on EURGBP, it would be that resistance zone there on the chart and also this support zone below price. But it's not very close, so that's why I didn't have it there. So when price gets into one of these zones, I just simply have a trading view alert. So I just add an alert. And then when price gets there, I get an alert delivered directly to my phone from the trading view app on trading view mobile on my phone. It lets me know that that a potential trading opportunity is ready. Then I go look at the chart. As long as there's no crazy news events or anything, I generally just enter immediately. Now, if you look at this exact trade, this is what it looked like the moment that I called it. This is in my Discord server, and I will show you what it looked like the moment I called it. So I put, I'm short on EURGBP, and it was a $50,000 risk with a $50,000 potential profit target. And look how simple. I buy at support and I sell at resistance, and I don't do anything else. I have kept it very, 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 very simple. And after experimenting with quite literally dozens and dozens, perhaps even over 100 different trading approaches and risk management styles, I have always found that nothing works better than trading support and resistance bounces on the higher time frames. It is so basic and it is so simple. I cannot believe that more people are not doing this. And so with that being said, I enter the trade right here with the stop loss above, target below, 50K risk for 50K potential profit. You can see the account has gone all the way from $150,000 to over $600,000. That's absolutely beautiful. And you can see that these are the different trades that I was in. So EURGBP, I entered, and then I put the stop loss above the zone and a target below. And if it goes against me, generally I'll get out a little bit early, so it keeps the loss kind of small. But then when it starts going into profit, I hold those winning trades longer than I hold the losing trades. My losing trades will sometimes hit the stop loss, but generally speaking, they result in like either a break even or a third of the way to the stop or halfway to the stop, and I just get out of them. I close them if it looks like they're not going to work out. And I'm going to show you a perfect example of that for a trade that I took today. So I got into an AUD USD trade today. You can see right here I'm short on AUD USD with $25,000 of risk. I risked a little bit less on this because it wasn't as high quality of a setup for me. So you can see I sold at resistance. We're here on the daily chart. So I use the daily and weekly to find the support resistance zones. I entered a sell. I put a stop loss above and a target below. And then I ended up closing this right here. So you can see a couple hours later, I put price is going sideways. There's no weakness. So there's no drop here. So I'm closing. I'm just going to exit for now. So I'm closing AUD USD here around the entry. And this is what it looked like the moment I closed it. So remember, the risk was $25,000 and I lost about $5,000 on this. That's 1/5 of where the original stop loss distance was. That's absolutely beautiful. Risk is controlled amazingly. This is what it looked like the moment I closed it. You can see price started going a little bit up against me. And mainly the reason I closed was because here on the 1 hour, whenever you're right about a trade, generally speaking, the best trades that are going to be profitable, they start going into profit immediately. They don't play around. They don't go sideways for very long. You enter, they start falling away, and they go straight into profit, just like my EURGBP trade this morning. What you'll notice here is that price got into this zone. I entered a sell. Then it started going sideways, and then it started going a little bit higher with some 1 hour candle closures above all the recent highs. When stuff like this happens, sure, the trade could still turn around and go back the other direction into profit. However, it's less likely. Therefore, I get out of trades like this. So instead of me taking full stop losses and full stop outs, I can just sit here and just enter trades with a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, knowing most of the losing trades I'll be able to get out of early if they're not working out. And the winning trades I'll always make more, because if they go to the full target or somewhere close to it, I'll make more money doing that. It's an absolutely beautiful way to trade. So that resulted in these two losses that you can see right here at the bottom of my Telegram channel on today that I'm making this video. I had AUD/USD with minus about $5,000. Now, we had a USDJPY trade that I took last night. I'm going to show you how beautifully simply this was. And as a matter of fact, let me just show you where I called it here in Telegram. So in Telegram last night, I posted this right here. Around where the market opened. I said, I've been looking through the charts. I'm about to send some analysis in here. And I just called a USDJPY trade, all the specifics in the Discord group. Check it out. USDJPY, this was the trade when I entered it. And then you can also see that right here, this is the analysis I shared. Now look how simple this is. This is USDJPY, and this is on the daily chart. You see the 1 day right here. So this is on the daily chart. Look how clean and clear this zone is. Support and resistance zones do not give you a way of predicting where price is going to go, but they give you a beautiful way of controlling risk, because you can enter a trade right there at the zone. You can put your stop just past it, and you can put your target at a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. If it starts moving into profit, just hold the trade. And if it starts going against you, then you can close the trade early. There are a few cases where it's reasonable to close a profitable trade a little bit early. And that's actually what I did here last night. Let's get into why I did that. So what I did right here is I checked back an hour and a half later after I called this trade last night, right at market opened. It was literally Sunday. I was having dinner with my wife, and I checked this out, and I was like, what? This is already going into profit. So as it started going down into profit, you can see that's what it looked like. I put WTF, USDJPY is already over half the way to the profit target. And then you could see it was sitting right here at about $30,000 of profit. So about 3/5 of the way to the profit target, or 60% of the way there. And I said, all right, I just called a closure on this trade. I'm going to bed soon, and there's likely going to be a retracement before the market, before more profit anyways. So I closed it at $30,000 worth of profit. So that was absolutely beautiful. This was the moment that I'd called it. That's what it looked like. And I had closed this trade early, and I called that right here. I called the exact trades with the exact entries and all the management and everything here on my Discord. So you can see this was USDJPY last night. Here's where I called it, 5:40 p.m. So 1 hour and 40 minutes after the market opened here in Texas. And I called that trade. This is what it looked like when I entered it. Sell at the resistance zone. Basically the same thing as EURGBP. It almost looks like an identical setup. And you can see this is where I closed it. I said I'm closing USDJPY here right now. I'm about to go to bed, and during fast moves into profit like this, there's usually a little bounce back to the upside. And I said we'll reanalyze tomorrow, but I'm a little over halfway to the TP at $30,000 of profit. And that was where I closed it right here. So let's go back and just do a little post-mortem on what happened here. So USDJPY, we're going to find that here on the chart. We're going to go to this one, and you can see that it ended up actually going into more profit. So From where I closed it yesterday to where it's at now, it looks like it would have hit the original profit target. I'm going to show you where I closed it. So when I entered, remember what I said about how if you're right, trades will usually go straight into profit? I sold right there at the resistance zone. If there are other sellers there and there are other buyers taking profits there at that resistance zone, so converting their buys into sell orders, that is going to cause what's called bearish sensitivity. What the hell does that mean? It just means price starts bouncing away from the zone. So I use the weekly and the daily time frames to draw these zones to get the clear areas where it looks like prices had very significant, big, clear bounces before in the past. And then I go to the 1 hour and I watch what the price candles actually do once it gets there. Basically put, if it just starts dropping away from the zone, then cool. It's probably going to be a trade that works out and results in some amount of profit. If it starts going sideways, like you saw in my AUD USD example a couple minutes ago, then I generally try to get out of those trades. This started going straight into profit and it went all the way down here. So I closed the trade down here and the original profit target was further down here, basically right where this low was created. You'll see that after I closed the trade, price had a retrace all the way back and it would have given back half of the open profit. So that 30K would have been turned into like only 15K of profit. And then it just went sideways overnight through late Asian session, Australian session, and London session. And then this morning, like 2 hours before I woke up, we had a final push to the downside. So I was not able to re-enter this and this would have actually hit the profit target. That's why even people like me, who has made so much money trading, I still get out of trades like this in profit based on my own reasons. And sometimes I'm right and it goes all the way back and it would have resulted in like a break even, or it ends up going into more profit and it could have made $50,000 on this one trade alone. So instead of being up $50,000 in the past 24 hours right now, it could have been up $70,000 had I just held this trade. But this just goes to show no one's perfect and no one can predict exactly what price is going to do every time. I can live with that as long as I make more on my winners than I lose on my losers. So that was USDJPY. So what I'm looking for the rest of this week are a couple of decent trading opportunities. I'm going to show you that right here. Again, you can follow all these live in my free Telegram channel. Sometimes I do little back testing replay mode things here on the chart, show you what I'm doing. It's always better when it's done in real time. I trade way better when it's in real time, live trade, showing the analysis, showing the trade, showing everything. And then here in the back testing replay mode, there's not enough texture and granularity for you to really be able to sift out all the nuance with it. So with EURGBP, I'm in this trade. You can notice from the moment that I entered this trade, I just sold at resistance. It immediately went into profit. And as we speak, it is still sitting here, slumping down, going into more profit. I'm going to be holding this trade to the final profit target, which it's halfway there, right? I risked 50,000 to make 50,000 and it's in 25K of profit right now. If it just goes a little bit further, basically down here to this next previous recent low on the daily chart, then this will probably hit the profit target and I'll be out in a nice little profit. So AUD USD, we've already talked about this one. It looks like it's trying to turn around for now, but we just hit the Asian session changeover, which was like 12 minutes ago. So I'm just going to be waiting on this one. If we start falling really quickly, I might just re-enter this one. There's nothing wrong with that. NZD USD is a trade I'm looking for. And look how simple this is. It's a clear resistance zone. Remember, I'm not doing anything wild here. There is no walking across a tightrope of mental gymnastics. I'm going here to the weekly chart and the daily chart. I'm looking, where's the most clear area where prices bounced pretty clearly at in the past? Well, the only thing I see is this right here. Prices came up into this region and then it bounced away pretty hard. So what did I do? I drew a zone there and you can see that I have an alert right here towards the top of the zone. As long as your alert's somewhere at least in the middle of the zone that you draw, right? The zone should encapsulate a lot of price action. I set my alert in this case like all the way there at that high. And if price gets up into there and it's not like a crazy news event and price doesn't immediately spike past it, I'm likely just going to get short right there, and then we'll call it a day. Another trade here is Euro Canadian dollar, and this actually almost set up today. You can see yesterday's daily candle, since we're in a new daily candle because the market just opened. Price came up into this resistance zone right here, and I had my alert. I mean, in my opinion, probably a little bit too far, honestly. But, then again, I'm not perfect. I still screw this up. I'm kind of an idiot, and I still somehow make tons of money doing this. And so with this being said, price almost got to that alert where price was at. But then during New York session, whenever I woke up this morning, it started rapidly going into profit. But of course, we had EURGBP as well, and that was going into profit too. So it's fine. I'm thankful. I've still made $25,000, $26,000 on EURGBP so far. But had this gone just a little bit further, I could have gotten into a sell. And the sell would have looked something like this. It's just a simple short position here at the zone. So right, it would have been somewhere in there around that order. Stop loss would have been just above the zone, not too far like that, but not too close like this either, right? I give it a little bit of room, so something like that. And the profit target just goes at 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, and then you can risk however much you want. It could be $10, it could be $50, it could be $100, $1,000, $10,000, or even like I'm doing, which is anywhere from $25,000 to $75,000 of risk per trade. I've allocated millions of dollars to my trading capital, and so for me, risking $50,000 to $75,000 per trade is perfectly fine with me, especially if on average I'm coming out 1 to 2 units of profit per month. Over the past 4.5 months, I've basically made about $100,000 a month trading Forex. That's what the stats come out to. So with Euro Canadian dollar, this is what I'm going to be doing to structure this trade. Now, there's going to be other pairs that you go to where you don't really see anything super clear. So if we go to CHF-JPY, it's done nothing but go up here for the past 4 years or so. Just like straight up went in a range for like 2024. Then we've just been vertical since like early to mid last year in 2025. Where's the next clear zone? In my opinion, I couldn't find anything except this little resistance zone that price just broke past. So whenever you buy and sell at support resistance zones, sometimes you have this little setup here where it's a break and retest, right? So price comes up to this zone, falls, comes up to this area again, which is where it created this zone, because now you have two little touch points from it. And then as it started to drop, it looked like it was going to do like a double top pattern, but it didn't, right? It bounced away temporarily, which you might have been able to have made profit on there depending on where your stop and target was. Then it broke past, and now I'm just waiting. Okay, now we've broken the zone as a break. Now we're waiting for a retest, price to come back in and touch the zone. And if it gets back into there, again, as long as there's not any crazy fundamental context or economic news release that sends price just spiking straight below the zone, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to be entering a buy right there with a stop below and a target above. USDJPY, there's no other setups for now. This was a beautiful setup yesterday. Would have made more money had I held it, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. GBP USD was a trade that we took last week. I entered a buy right here at this zone. And then I closed this 80% of the way to the profit target last week. So I had my profit target was somewhere up here. My stop was below this zone. As a matter of fact, let's just go and look at the actual trade. That would be easiest. So let's go in here. Where is it at? EURGBP. Let's see. This was last week. So 36,000. We're going to find this GBP trade. Yeah, I remain in GBP USD. So this is what it looked like whenever it was in profit. You can see my account's over $600,000 right now, but just last week the account was at like 530, 560,000. So whenever there's a win streak, it's crazy. So right here, you can see last week I said I'm closing GBP USD here. It's 80% of the way to the take profit, and it's Friday and the market closes soon. So what I did is I went ahead and exited GBP USD. But you can see that, okay, so this is the moment I entered it. So February 5th, so that was 4 days ago. So it was last week. I bought when price got here into this support zone. This is the same exact setup as CHF-JPY that I'm waiting on right now, but it had set up last week, right? GBP USD was in a nice little uptrend here. It broke above the zone, and then it just came back to touch the zone again. That's all. It just came back to touch the zone, and as soon as it got there, I checked the 1 hour. We had no candles breaking past the zone. It went sideways for like 30 minutes to an hour. I just entered. I put my buy right there. I put my stop below and a target above. I risked $50,000 to make potentially $50,000. Now, after that happened, right, this is what it looked like at the time. I had USD CAD and I had GBP USD right here. But what happened here is that price started bouncing up. And then as price started bouncing up, it went into profit very, very quickly. It was in $35,000 of profit. It kept going into even more. And then I closed it here. And what it ended up being is it ended up being about $40,000 of profit. The actual final P&L, I think you could probably see it here in Telegram. It's down here. So what was the final P&L? So the final P&L was $39,476. So basically $40,000 of profit. So with that said, this is the type of trade that I take wherever it's so simple and it's so basic and it's easy for me, because all I'm doing is I'm just buying and selling at support resistance zones. That was GBP USD, which is trade from last week. Euro USD is also a trade I was going to take last week, but I try not to overexpose myself to correlated assets. So I don't want to buy GBP USD and buy Euro USD with the same risk at the same time. It's just not something that makes sense. So that's just something that I chose not to do, but you can see how it's the same exact setup. It's a clear support resistance zone. Price came into the region. It started bouncing away. Super easy. As far as the rest of the pairs right now, I don't really see anything. And that's the beautiful part of this trading strategy, is that whenever you don't find any of their pairs, there's always so many setups that, I get personally between like 3 to 10 trading opportunities per week. I'd average, let's say about 5. So about 1 per day, but sometimes it'll be like no trading opportunities for 2 or 3 days. And then I find 3 trading opportunities in 1 day, in a single day. And then I just take all 3 of them. So whenever I'm trading this way, I get about 3 to 10 trades per week. Even trading on the daily, I don't have super wide, like super long trade durations or anything going that far. And so it becomes very easy for me to be able to duplicate this on a daily basis, day in and day out. And so what I want you to do after this video is, for one, you have to get into my free Telegram channel. Just click the link in the description. You can be in there in a few seconds, and I want you to follow my trades for just a month. See how I manage things. Follow the daily little analysis videos that I do, breaking down trades, doing recaps and outlooks. Again, those are unlisted private videos on YouTube here on my channel. You can only see them if you're there in that group, because I send out the links there and I don't post them publicly here on my channel. And then after following those for a while, what you'll notice you'll start being able to do is you'll start being able to find these trading opportunities for yourself. You will find that it is not a headache to do it. It doesn't take a ton of time to do it. And it allows you to trade with so much more freedom in terms of your time and also mental bandwidth. You don't have to sit there obsessing, and you don't have to sit there being anxious and depressed that you're on a losing streak or that you're not finding trades, and you start doing stupid stuff like revenge trading. Whenever you're trading this way, it is so much simpler. And that is why I believe that this is the simple way that I have been able to have made millions of dollars trading over the course of the past decade. Is trading really this simple? And is it really that simple to make millions of dollars trading? Trading is really risky, and most people lose money, and that is the reality. And so if you're going to be doing this, you're approaching a game of trading which is like super, super difficult and challenging. And I believe it's challenging because people are not keeping it simple. That is why I keep it simple, and that is why I have been able to get the results I have. And that is why Kirkland has been able to have made millions of dollars trading as well. Kirkland, could you speak to that just a little bit?
I have not made millions trading Forex, Nick. Again, continue the video.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I was done with the video, so I thought maybe if you wanted to share a little bit about your trading journey, you could share a little bit.
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Sweet. Well, hey, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my free Telegram channel, and I hope this video was useful. If it was, let me know in the comments, and then let me know if you want Kirkland to explain how he's made millions of dollars in the next video, and then we can ask him again.